we do have this ignorant authoritarianism, like Brazil and the United States under Trump, where an authoritarian government denies the reality of COVID, right? But is highly authoritarian when it comes to reacting to, challenges on the street, like the Black Lives Matters movement, and so on and so forth. But there is also this other type of authoritarianism, which is the China type, right? Take it extremely seriously what's happening with COVID. And the answer is authoritarian, highly authoritarian, even mobilizing people, to serve as guards at the checkpoints, right? So mobilizing people to really exert and implement the rules. So we have this one school saying that now authoritarian populists will be demasked, right? So it will become clear for everyone that they are not based on scientific knowledge. They are not responsive to shocks and crises, and cannot really offer anything for solving fundamental problems. And this will be seen now by people, and the people will then kind of, make them go away. We have also seen a totally different prediction saying that now it's the time of the executive. The state of exception means that the executive is getting stronger, and this is the chance for the authoritarian governments, to really gain even more power and exert their power and broaden their power within the country. Especially when you expect that the authoritarian governments would tumble, then you come with the expectation that there is an alternative. So there is kind of people watching their governments, some kind of catharsis, right? Cleansing. Now I see the truth. It's a populist, it's an authoritarian populist. And then there would be a return to something, to an alternative, a better past, liberal, democratic, form of government that used to be in place. And I think this is a big mistake to think like that, right? So basically this external shock comes, but there's no way for returning to something because there is no glorious past, right? So we already were in a situation of crisis before COVID-19 came. A new internationalism, I think, really has to start from the point that we have to reinvent democracy. So we cannot rely on saying, okay, we are coming from, this saturated German government, and Angela Merkel is the hero of rational behavior towards measures towards COVID. That's not the case. We do not have a blueprint. Basically, all democratic governments and regimes we know so far have not been able to solve the climate problem. So there's still an existential threat out there, and the COVID one is just an addition to that, right? So what we will have to start is a real, conversation, very much from the beginning of how we understand democracy and what we think about democracy. We do have a historic example of how compliance can be organized in a democratic way. And this is the safe sex rules in answering to the HIV crisis. Right. Basically, it was gay men in collaboration with their doctors and being threatened by, authoritarian governments to be basically sent into camps or, so and also being facing the extinction of their group. Which made them innovatively invent, a form of behavior, and the crucial point is it only works if everyone is doing it. So compliance is, so you use a condom, but and if everyone uses a condom, then you don't need testing, you don't need segregation of people, but only if compliance is really close to 100%. If it's a couple of people who don't comply, then you cannot cope, right? So the sense of threat, and it was an existential threat in those days, basically brought about movements that kind of managed to, get people together and push for change in sexual behavior. And this is the most intimate thing and the most, and this is the most difficult part maybe of human life to induce a change, right? But it worked.